Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks again for joining me. Now today I get to share with you the 10 cards I made with the Love from Lizi August 2018 card kit. Lots to do, so we're going to jump in with our first card. I'm taking the stamp set that came in this month's kit, or August kit, and I'm going to stamp this pretty little abstract circle here. I'm just stamping it on a piece of white cardstock. I did go over the top of it with some Versamark ink first, and then I'm going to go over it with some VersaFine ink. Since this is a rubber stamp, I thought it would create a better stamping result. After I have my Versamark stamped, I'm going to go over the top of it with the Love from Lizi Silver Dollar embossing powder, and it embosses beautifully. I'm just going to melt that. Creates a beautiful little shine. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment, so I'm going to do the same thing with my Versamark, and then I'm going to ink it up with my VersaFine ink. And for this sentiment, I chose Best and Loveliest Friend. Love the sentiment. Now I already cut out a panel using the polka dot pattern paper that came with this month's kit, and then I'm going to place that on an A2 size card base. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Now this is a cut apart sheet that also came in Lizi's kit. They're like journaling tags. I'm just going to take my scissors and trim around it. It's actually kind of like a larger scale of the stamped image. So once I have that fussy cut around, I'm going to pop up my sentiment here with some foam squares, place that in the center of my fussy cut element, and then I'll place that on my card base. I did trim off a little bit off the right side there. Now I'm going to use some foam tape to add a little bit of dimension to my sentiment. I'll just remove the backing and place that on my card base. There was so much shimmer going on with Lizi's card kit for August that you don't really have to do much to your cards because they are super duper shiny. So I'm going to grab some of the sample pack of sequins that came in Lizi's kit, and I'm just going to add a few sequins around my panel, and then I'm also going to add a few on a couple of the polka dots that are showing below. Once I have those adhered, I'm going to go over the center of the sequins with the ebony black Nouveau crystal drops that came with Lizi's kit, just to tie in that black from the sentiment. But that finishes off my first card. Super shiny. Here's some close-up pictures. Now we're going to move along to card number 2. I already cut out a panel using this pattern paper here, and also a strip of the diagonal stripe pattern paper. I'm going to use this tag sheet that came in the kit. I grabbed the With Love, the gold tag, and then the tag with the diamond. I'm not going to actually use the tag with the diamond. I wanted to use the gold part of it, so I grabbed a butterfly die from my stash and I die cut out a gold butterfly. Now we're going to adhere this panel to an A2 card base. I'm kind of going to place it wonky, and then I'll go ahead and add that stripe of pattern paper, a strip of pattern paper, a strip of striped pattern paper. I'll get it, but I added that to the right side there. Next, I'm going to attach my sentiment to my tag, and then I added some foam tape behind there, and we're going to place that on our card base. Now I wanted to add just a little something more, since, lots of gold here, but well, first we're going to add a glue dot to the butterfly. Now in my stash I have some really thin gold wire. I picked this wire up at either Michael's or Joann's, but it's in the jewelry section, and I really like this to add accents to card, and I thought we'll just add a little bit of something to the card. So I'm going to attach it to my sentiment there, and then I'm going to attach my butterfly to the right side of it. You can't tell very well through the pictures, but I think it looks really neat in real life. Well, these ones, the close-ups, you could probably tell what it looks like. But that was card 2. Now for card 3, I'm going to use the large silver and white stripe paper, and I cut out a panel that's just slightly smaller than my card base. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that in the center. For this card, we're going to make a shaker card, so I cut out a frame with 2 square dies. It's a pretty thin frame, And then I also cut out a backing piece that was the largest square die that I used. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my acetate just using my glue, and any excess over it hanging I'm going to trim off. And then I went ahead and added foam tape around my frame. I just cut out real thin strips. Now after I remove the backing, I'm going to add some sequins. Now I actually had poured some of the sequins in one of my little dishes, so it looks like I'm putting the entire bag in there, but I really didn't. There's the little dish there, so I have still lots extra. But I'll place my back panel on my shaker, and I think the colors are just so shimmery. Now we're going to place that directly on my card base just using my tape runner, and then you can see I'm going to use the tag that says "You're a Star." This was actually, I believe, in one of the bumper pack sheets. But for finishing touch, I'm going to go in the center of my star, or go over the center of my star with some glossy accents, just to give that a little bit of shimmer to go with the sequins that are in there. But that finishes off card number 3. Clean and simple, but super shiny. Okay, for card number 4, we're going to attach this pattern paper to the card base. It's the polka dot pattern paper that was evenly spaced. And then you can see I cut out a circle with the vellum and the silver pattern there. I grabbed the hello tag and I'm going to glue that to my vellum, trimming off my circle a little bit. We're going to flip this over and I'm going to add some foam right behind my tag. I'm going to just pop that up and place that on my card base. These cards were fairly on the easy side to create, and I kept them super simple because of all that was going on with them. The pattern papers were just so beautiful that you didn't have to do much. Now Lizi's kit came with these little metal embellishments. Now I grabbed 3 of the silver circles, and they were 3 different sizes, and I thought it'd be real pretty if they were layered together. So I'm just threading them through each other with the black ribbon that came in Lizi's kit. It was really easy to do. All you have to do is make sure you use your scissors to create a real sharp point on that ribbon, and they thread through beautifully. I just tied a knot, and then I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow to attach them all together. I'll just trim off the tails of my bow there, and then using a glue dot I'm going to attach them to the end of my tag. It kind of looks like your nice piece of jewelry. I really like the way this turned out. It's very simple but very clean. Next, since I did have a black bow, I thought, well, I'll use some of the Ebony Black Nouveau crystal drops, and I added them to the center of my pattern paper, the silver dots on my pattern paper. But that finishes off that card. That was a fun hello card. But here's some close-ups. Okay, now we're moving along to card number 5. I wanted to use the stencil. It was so fun. So I'm placing it on a piece of white cardstock. I'm pressing it down really well, and then I'm going to go over the top of it with my Versamark ink. Now my intention was just to use Lizi's silver dollar embossing powder over the Versamarked areas. But I'm thinking the sticky back from the stencil left sticky residual on my panel, because you can see here after I added my embossing powder it actually covered the entire panel, and I kind of liked it. So I went with it. I just covered it, and you can see it just covered the entire panel, and I think it was because of the sticky back stencil. But I'm going to go ahead and melt that, and it creates actually a beautiful silver foil. So if you want to make silver foil, you should try this. I really like the way this turned out. But I'm going to take a stitched rectangle die and cut out a smaller panel, and I'm making sure it's centered, because when I cut this out it's going to give me a frame, and we're going to use that for another card. But for this one we're going to use the inside panel. I'm just going to attach that to the center of my card base. Lovely. Okay, now I cut out a black heart with the black cardstock. I'm going to use one of the journaling tags that came in the kit. I'm just going to add some foam tape behind it, and we're going to pop that up. And then I did cut out a smaller silver polka dot heart that will fit right inside of the black heart. We're going to place the journaling panel in the center of this card, and then I'm going to attach my polka dot heart to my black heart there. And then this is going to go in the center of my journaling tag. And then for my sentiment, this is one of the sentiments I believe that was from the bumper pack. It says, "Hello, lovely." I'm just going to add a piece of foam tape behind it, and then that's going to go on my card. Beautiful. Now I did decide to use Lizi's peel-offs and go around the edge of my embossed panel because they were super shiny, and I thought I'd tie in with the black heart real well. But that finishes off card number 5. Now for card number 6, I'm going to use that frame, and so I thought I'd put a piece of vellum behind it. So this is the gold kind of abstract-y looking vellum. We're going to tape my frame to the vellum, and then just using my scissors, I'm going to trim that out. Now this vellum had the octagons, hexagons, octus 5. So how many sides does this have? Is 6. But I used the silver embellishment, mirror embellishment, silver tiles that came in the kit. I just added them to my panel. Now hindsight, I think I would have probably centered my vellum to where my little flower there would be in the center. But I just placed them in a flower shape. And then for my sentiment, this says, "You're the best." I'm going to adhere that to a piece of black cardstock. I'm just kind of going to give it a little bit of a black matte background. I'll add some foam tape behind my sentiment, and we're going to place that on our card base. And I'm going to place it to the left to kind of offset where my flower is not centered. And I guess I didn't do it to the left. I did it to the right. Sorry. Okay, but that finishes up card number 6. Okay, now for card number 7, Lizi's kit came with this cute little present die, and it comes with a bow too. So using this pattern paper, I'm going to cut out a gold present. I'm kind of skipping over the white dots that are on there. So I have a gold present, and then I did die cut out a white ribbon that's going to go right on top. Now I did cut out a strip of this pattern paper. We're going to place that directly on our card base. And then after I have my tape runner down, I decided, I'm going to add a little strip of black cardstock. So I'm just going to take my paper trimmer and trim down a small strip. And then that's going to go to the left of my pattern paper. Then I'll go ahead and add a little bit more tape and then place that on my card base, going the length of my card. We'll just trim off the excess. And then next I'm going to take a circle. I die cut out a white circle, and then I did find a sentiment that says "Let's Celebrate," and I believe the "Let's Celebrate" is from one of the sheets in the bumper pack. But I added that to my present, and then we're going to go add some foam tape and place that on our circle. And then just using my tape runner, I'm going to adhere that to my card base. There's just going to be a little overhanging, so I'll trim that off. And then those little itty bitty stars there, I thought they would be nice little accents for this card. So just using some glue, I'm going to add those on that little circle area. And that is it for card number 6. Was it card number 6? Card number 7. Oh boy. Okay, for card number 8, we're going to use that striped pattern paper again. I'm just going to trim it down. And then that's going to go in the center of my card base. There's a little bit overhanging, so I'll just take my trimmer and trim that off. And my tape runner has given me troubles. I still to this day I haven't yet found a tape runner that I really like. But anyway, I did cut out a piece of the star vellum, and that's going to go in the center of the stripe paper. Now to glue my vellum down, I'm just going to add some of my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive just behind the stars, and that's going to secure my vellum without showing any adhesive behind it. Okay, now I'm going to use the little star patterned tag, and I want to create a present, a large present. So this is actually the bow that I created when I did my unboxing, so I'm going to use that, but that's good use. I just used a glue dot to secure it to the top of my tag, and then I'm taking a strip of just the gold in this pattern paper, and I'm going to just give my bow a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to go straight down the middle, and then I'll just secure this underneath. So now I have a pretty little present. Now I didn't add any sentiment to this card. I thought it would just kind of speak for itself, but I think I'm just going to leave it at that, and I think it turned out really pretty. Love those little stars. So here's some close-ups. Now for card number 9, I am going to use this die cut element that came in the kit, and then I wanted to use the diamond tag that also came in the kit. I'm just going to trim around it so I have my own custom ephemera piece. I'm just going to pop it up and place that in the center of my circle, and then next I used the silver and the gold and the white pattern paper, and I did die cut out a circle right in the center. I was going to do some stamping, and then I decided to change my mind. But this is going to go in the center of my card base. It's going to leave me a little bit of a white border around the edges. And then I was just playing around with my placement, and I thought it was just too plain. So in the pattern papers, there's a gold paper that's the opposite of the white one, and I thought that would look really pretty in the center. So I die cut out a circle the same size as the one that I had die cut out of the white paper, and then placed that in the center of it, popped up my little diamond, and then just for a little something, I'm going to tie a bow using the white ribbon that came in Lizzie's kit, and I'm going to secure it with a glue dot right at the very top. We're going to just trim off the tails, and that finishes off card number 9. I really like the way this one turned out. It's probably my favorite because I like the same patterns but the 2 different colors. I like that. Okay, so we're going to move along to our final card today. I already cut out my elements. I cut out a panel that is slightly smaller than my card base with the large polka dot pattern paper. That's going to go directly on my card base, and I didn't tell you, but all my card bases are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Now I wanted to use this little journaling tag that says love on it. I'm going to add some foam tape behind it, and then I actually stuck it down to my card base, and later on I end up lifting it back up. But I decided to use the envelopes that were in the bumper pack. I grabbed this one. It was really pretty, and I'm just using my bone folder to reinforce those score lines. And then I'm going to carefully peel off my journaling tag, and I'm going to stick my love inside my envelope, my love tag in the envelope. My sentiment tag says a little note, and then I grabbed another sentiment, I believe from the bumper pack, that says with love. So my sentiment will read a little note with love. So I thought it'd be cute to have that sticking out of my little envelope. And I just placed it in my envelope and placed my envelope on my card base. Now I'm going to use my tape runner to adhere my tag that says a little note, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape behind the second part of the sentiment that says with love, and I'm going to place that right below my little tag. So I really do have a little note with love in there. Okay, now using this pattern paper, I'm going to go around the white polka dots again, and I cut out a small heart. I added a piece of foam tape behind it, and I popped that up and placed that on my little love note. And then that finishes off card number 10. I think this turned out really cute. But here's some close-ups. Now we're going to take a look at all 10 cards that I made today using the Love from Lizi August 2018 card kit. Now I'm not sure if kits are still available, guys, but if they are, I'll leave links below. And I'll leave a link for the bumper pack too in case you're interested. At the end of the video, I'll leave the unboxing in case you missed that. But this kit was super duper fun, super shiny. I really enjoyed making the cards, and I have so much stuff left over you would not believe. I could probably make 50 more cards. But I hope you liked the cards that I made today. Let me know what you think. But I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.